Hi all, this is Once a Future Gamer and welcome to another Pokemon challenge. So, last week we did the big 5-0 and had a romp through Unova and answered the question of whether or not I could beat Pokemon Black with a single Archeops. That was a fun run. Today though, we return to Gen 1 and I ask the question of whether or not I can beat Pokemon Yellow with just a single Beedrill. I'm like 95% certain this has been done before. Beedrill is terrible in this game. We've got a 305 base stat total in the gen where the special stat was combined, which is bad because Beedrill's special defense would go on to be pretty good. Our attack is decent and our speed isn't bad either. We're weak to flying, rock, fire, psychic and bug. This is gen 1. We resist fighting and grass. Do we at least get a good move pull? Sorry, excuse me. We only really get Twin Needle that's any good. Focus energy is broken in this gen and Rage is just about worse. We do get Poison Sting from being a Weedle, but I'm not sure that's a convincing argument for a positive thing. Having to likely take on Brock with Poison Sting and Fury Attack is really not going to be fun. What about TMs? Yeah, there's not much better here. Swords Dance could be handy. I might have to resort to Hyper Beam at some point because at least we'll hit hard then. And plus, there's no recharge if we make an enemy faint in this game with it. I can see Mega Drain being useful. Now, we won't hit hard with Mega Drain, but it might be the best way to beat rock and ground types. Plus, the health recovery is always handy. Here's the predictions then. Brock will probably be unpleasant until we can grind him down. I can see we'll likely have to be a good level for him. We might struggle in the fire gym because we don't really get a good way to hit fire types hard. But I don't think any of the gyms between those two should be an issue. Sure, Sabrina can hit us hard, but we do get a super effective physical move, so maybe we'll be okay. I can see each of the Elite Four giving us problems in their own way. Most of the problems will probably come from the rival. Just the rules. In combat, I can only use Beedrill. Other Pokemon will be needed for HMs, but unable to fight. Only Pokeballs in battle since there's no held items, but I can heal outside of battle. Last of all, no glitches or exploits. Or at least any that I have control over since this is Gen 1. Glitchiness is kind of the natural order of things. If you enjoy what you see, like, subscribe and ring the bell. This challenge was suggested by Ryan Westfield. As always, if you do have any ideas for challenges, drop them in the comments section down below or in the description of this video. There are links to my Twitter and my Discord. Come on by, say hello, join the community such as it is. Now, I have used Beedrill in a challenge before, in Pokemon Black. That wasn't pleasant, but at least we got a good move pool. Actually, not pleasant is an understatement. It was downright horrific and put me off doing challenges in Pokemon Black for a good few months. I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Pikachu with Weedle so that I can do the whole run with it. I'll have to evolve our hairy bug into Beedrill as we get started. I nicknamed my Weedle Stilgen because I said I'd nickname a random Mon after whoever got the theme of the nicknames in the Fire Red Stab run. And Alex Stilgenbauer got that they were all named after enemies in Parasite Eve 2. The nickname of the Gengar in that run suddenly makes a lot of sense, huh? While I'm talking, we fight the rival in the lab. Eevee versus Weedle. Ideally, I'll need to win here, but pass upon the fight on Route 22 because that gives him a Flareon at the end of the game, which will probably be the toughest for us to fight. However, it doesn't work out to plan and I'm not rebooting it. Eevee lands one Tail Whip and wipes out half our HP when it tackles us, so it means there's little likelihood of winning at this point. We do poison it on the first turn with Poison Sting, but it is to just no avail. Here's the perspective for you. Weedle has a 175 base stat total in Gen 1. It's joint weakest in the entire game with Caterpie. Eevee has 280, so it's over 100 points better. We get it to half health and then we just sort of get knocked out. Time to go grind, and I can't even go into words just how bad this is. The only things we can knock out with any sort of consistency at the start are level 2 Rattatas. Anything stronger than that, forget it. We nearly get murdered by a couple of Pidgey, meaning that I have to run from several fights. This really isn't good. At least it isn't long before Stilgen evolves into Kakuna at level 7, and at least we get a bit of a defense boost. Although, that said, we do end up breaking the game, and I think that this is the reason. We have Oak's parcel, but he won't take it off us and ends up telling us how we're doing in the Pokedex, when we don't even have the Pokedex. I reboot the game, thanks for that, and see if this makes a difference. All that grinding undone. I don't bother with it this time, just power through the start of the game and the rival fight, cheese it to Viridian City and back again, and thankfully it works this time. That's good. At least I averted that problem. Good to know, that's an issue potentially for the future. I'll go hit Viridian Forest for grinding, I think. When we do, it's not too long before Stilgen evolves into a Beedrill, and with that out of the way, we can get the run started properly. First, more grinding because we'll still struggle to beat Brock for a few levels yet. 2 resistive moves with low power versus a Geodude and an Onix, both who have decent defense. No thank you. He does have lower levels in Pokemon Yellow than in Red and Blue, so I do get to level 15 and decide to make a try on him just to see what happens. It does not go well. I try a bunch of poison stings at the start of the fight, hoping to get a status affliction on it. Not the best idea since he has full heals, I believe, but even then, it's not as if we even get that. And each blow from Geodude wipes out 5 of our hit points, so it can 10 hit us. We start going for Fury attacks, but still get awful luck. Many of them only hitting 2 times, and while it does probably do more damage than Poison Sting, it is negligible, and so eventually we do get it down to about half health, but it does take us out. Let's grind again. I even head back to Route 22 to tackle the rival fight there, so I know if you win the lab fight and ignore Route 22, he gets Flareon. If you win both fights, it's Jolteon. If you lose the lab fight and ignore Route 22, then it's Vaporeon. But I don't know what happens if you lose the lab fight but win the Route 22 one. Let's find out over the course of the game. Anyway, we one-hit his Spearow with a crit Fury attack. In Gen 1, if the first hit of a multi-hit move is a crit, the rest are too. We take it out before it can peck us. The Eevee is a bit tougher, but we do still eventually manage to take it out with Fury attack. It hits a tackle in exchange, but we bring it down despite one use of Fury attack missing at the start of the fight. Let's go try Brock again. You might wonder why I don't go for Focus Energy. In Gen 1, Focus Energy actually makes you less likely to crit, so it's pretty much a useless move. I think it quarters the chance of it happening rather than doubling it, so yeah, that is not going to do us any favours. We still get hit pretty hard by Geodude, I'm not going to lie. It's 4 hit points with each tackle rather than 5, but it only knows that said tackle, so there's no chance of it going for something else to give us a breather. Also, it never misses tackle, which is actually astonishing in this game because tackle only had like 95% accuracy before Gen 5 and it always felt like it missed more than it actually should. Well, remember the infamous quote about if it's not 100% accurate? Fury attacks and poison stings litter the Geodude and it takes them. Right at the end of the fight, with it nearly down, we miss a Fury attack and only hit 2 times with the next one, when 3 or 4 hits might have finished it, meaning we take 2 more tackles that we didn't need to. Thankfully, Onix isn't quite as much trouble. We do manage to poison it a bunch of times throughout the fight, meaning that Brock wastes his full heals and his turns throughout the fight, which is good. I pepper it with a few Fury attacks and the occasional Poison Sting, switching to String Shots when it goes to Bide just to avoid taking any damage. It doesn't hit us hard, it doesn't even hit us for as much damage as Geodude did. Sure, it does have Bind, which is aggravating in this game, but it is highly inaccurate, so that's something. Towards the end of the fight, the poison sticks, he runs out of full heals and it goes into Bide. I sense an opening and go for Fury attack as it goes into red health. I'm on red health myself and it's either all or nothing. With poison damage sapping its health, we get a crit off Fury attack and manage to take it down for the win. With that, we make our way through Mount Moon where I took the Dome Fossil. Just in case you were wondering if you notice anything weird, you know what to do. It's not a mistake, by the way. Anyway, I go fight Jesse and James, and Stilgen is on top form. We've got Twin Needle now, which will likely be our go-to move for a long time. We take down all their Pokemon, Ekans, Meowth and Koffing, with single blows from our signature move, and it is a pretty easy sweep. This was such a neat addition to Pokemon Yellow, so much so that they brought them back for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which incidentally, I'm playing the former on this channel right now. And with that, we arrive in Cerulean City. I figure I've got a reasonable chance of beating Misty at this point, given we've got a stab, super effective move on her Starmie, which traditionally can be quite tanky. I'm going to go gamble half my money on beating her. Staryu does just about survive a single Twin Needle attack, landing on red health, but we do poison it, and that poison does take it out. Starmie is faster, which could be a problem, but it only ever goes for Water Gun. We land a Twin Needle to weaken and poison it before repeating the round. We survive Water Gun and finish it with another Twin Needle. Easy money. What might not be easy is the rival fight we've got next on Nugget Bridge. I think there could be potential for trickiness here. He has 2 Pokemon that could cause us problems. The first is the Spearow, which can hit us for super effective damage, and we're not helped by missing Fury Attack the first turn. It hits a Growl and a Peck, but we do down it with a pair of Fury Attacks. We get very lucky versus Sandshrew, which can be annoying with Sand Attack, and we crit it with Twin Needle to take it out. Rattata, out next, is a one hit with Twin Needle before Eevee is last. We hit it with Twin Needle and it counters us with Tail Whip before we go and finish it off. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. We've got to fight him again soon after on the SSN. We still don't have a good way to deal with flying types beyond Fury Attack, but we at least one-hit Spearow with the move, so that's a good thing. Rattata goes down to a Twin Needle, as does Sandshrew to 2 uses of the move, but it does hit us with a Scratch for meagre damage. Eevee, out last, we also take out with a Twin Needle. So that was simple. Let's move on. Now I could teach Stilgen Cut to deal with flying types, but I am not seriously considering that as a viable option, given that I can't get rid of the move if I want to. Surge is next, and he has the potential to be awkward in Pokemon Yellow with his single super strong Raichu. I have some bad memories of this fight when this game first came out, of me throwing my entire underleveled team at him and getting wiped out. We hit a Twin Needle, he uses an X speed and then misses a Mega Kick before we finish it with another Twin Needle. That could have gone a whole lot worse. Let's move on again. Let's go get to Lavender Town and tackle the rival fight while we're here in Pokemon Tower. I still don't have a great way to handle Fearow, but I guess I'll cheese it with Fury Attack and see what happens. We do get a 5-hit Fury Attack to drop it in red health, but I'm pretty sure that what Rod does next is illegal, dropping a potion on it the same turn we attack, after we've attacked. We finish it with Poison Sting. Fury Attack takes out Vulpix, so yeah, he's not going to have Flareon before Twin Needle takes out Magnemite. Yeah, he's not going to have Jolteon either, so it's going to be Vaporeon. Twin Needle also does a number on the Sandshrew, and that thing is annoying, as we've discussed already, before Twin Needle also takes Eevee down. I'm not concerned about Erica in the slightest, and that's who we go to fight next. Given we have a 4x super effective move versus 2 of her 3 Pokemon, thanks to Poison being weak to Bug in this gen, I think we will wreck this. And I'm right, as we sweep her team with Twin Needle, taking down Tangela, Weeping Bell and Gloom in very quick succession. I do get the Mega Drain TM2, which I teach to Stilgen. We have got the fight with Giovanni next, and once more, I'm not too concerned. I did teach Beedrill Double Edge in the Rocket Game Corner to get a better option than Fury Attack. Mind you, it's possible an empty move slot would potentially be more of a better option than Fury Attack is sometimes. Challenge idea just popped into my head. Mega Drain takes down his first 2 Pokemon, the Onix and the Rhyhorn, pretty easily. They're not a problem. The Persian we hit with a Twin Needle, but it survives on a sliver of health, hitting a Payday before we take the cat out with Double Edge. Okay, once we've cleared out Pokemon Tower, I head next to Sylph to clear that area out. And while we are fighting our way through the Team Rocket grunts, it might be worth talking about what's ongoing on the channel. I did have some personal family issues a few weeks back, but I am starting to build up a backlog of videos once again, so we're still going strong. I'm still releasing episodes on alternate weeks of the Let's Go Pikachu playthrough and the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX playthrough, so check those out if you haven't already done so. I'm still playing Fable Anniversary, very badly at times I'll add, and Resident Evil 0. On the challenge front, at the time of writing this, it's been a few hours since Challenge 50, Pokemon Black with a single Archeops was released and reception has been lukewarm so far, but enough about the past, let's talk about the future, let's talk about what's upcoming. Next week's challenge could be interesting. We return to Pokemon Emerald and we are going to see if we can beat it using only contest moves. So join me for that because it's sure to be interesting. On the subject of Sylph, I remember having so much trouble with this place when the game was first released back in the late 90s. Kept getting lost and then got myself beat up badly by the rival because let's face it, this is not an easy fight. I teach Stilgen Swords Dance and head out to face Rod on the 7th floor. When we face him, I use a Swords Dance immediately, and thankfully, Sandslash fails with Sand Attack. That would have put a crimp on the entire fight. We then clatter it with Double Edge and take it out, meaning we are in good shape for the rest of the fight. Magneton is a one-hit with Twin Needle. Remember, it's not a Steel type in this game. Ninetales goes down to 1 Double Edge before the Kadabra comes out next, and we down it with Twin Needle. Last is Vaporeon, and we hit a Mega Drain to get some health back. It doesn't do much damage and we get hit with Sand Attack. We miss an attack next, but when we do finally land another Twin Needle, it takes it down for the count. I might as well face Giovanni while we're here then. This is never usually a hard fight, at least not in these games. In Fire Red and Leaf Green, potentially, but we're not playing that game. Anyway, we use Swords Dance versus Nidorino, and it goes for the useless Focus Energy before we Twin Needle it into Oblivion. Persian is next, and it also gets hit with Twin Needle to take it out. I go for a Mega Drain on Rhyhorn to fill our health bar back up before we take Nidoqueen out with another Twin Needle. That was simple. Let's move on to Sabrina. Now, I don't know how this will go. Sabrina can be horrible in Pokemon Yellow. Although we do have a super effective move, I really don't fancy taking a Stab Psychic from her Alakazam. Just saying, that's got the potential to really mess us up. Mind you, it never comes to that, as with our mighty Twin Needle, we're capable of tearing through her team, taking down Abra and Kadabra and Alakazam in rapid fashion. And just like that, we're on the road again. Fuchsia City next, and there's a fight with Koga. There's a massive level curve in Yellow from Gym 4 to Gyms 5 and 6, so I'm not sorry for the levelling. Again, we've got super effective moves for his team, so this shouldn't be too bad. Just as we did with Sabrina, we sweep through with a barrage of Twin Needle attacks. Koga's team isn't too imaginative in Yellow, just like Sabrina's team. He uses 3 Venonat and a Venomoth, because it's not like there's no poison types in Gen 1 to choose from otherwise. We take him out and move on. Now, I may need the levels for the next major fight as we go after Blade on Cinnabar Island, because he could be dangerous. I think I'll need Swords Dance for sure, and Double Edge is pretty risky because if we get hit by a big fire attack, it could be all we wrote. This is a tight fight. We put up a Swords Dance versus Ninetales and get tagged with Flamethrower for big damage before we take it out with Double Edge. We've just got to survive Recoil on 2 Pokemon. Rapidash we take out with 40 odd hit points remaining after the recoil, and I can't help feeling that this is going to be close. Arcanine we hit with Double Edge and survive on 5 hit points. I can't help breathing a sigh of relief as the doggo goes down and we get the 7th badge. Really can't emphasise how close that was. Moving on. I'm not worried about Giovanni though. Really, he's not been an issue for the entire game. I'm not sure why he would be now. This fight is actually harder than I thought it might be. Dugtrio is a one hit with Double Edge, not a problem. Persian survives Double Edge and then hits a crit slash on us to put us in yellow health before we finish it with Twin Needle. Nidoqueen though survives Twin Needle, which is somewhat worrying, but misses Thunder before we take her out. Nidoking also survives Twin Needle, but Giovanni uses his signature move, Guard Spec, and then we take it out. Rhydon survives Mega Drain as we get most of our health back, but another signature Guard Spec means we can take it down at the second attempt. Fine then, let's go face off with the rival on Route 22. It feels a long time since we did that first fight here at the beginning of the game when I was trying to work out the answer to that puzzle about what he'd evolve his Eevee into. We get a Swords Dance up versus Sandslash and get tagged with Fury Swipes in exchange, though there is only a few of them before we take it down with Double Edge. Execute is a one hit with Twin Needle, as is the Magneton when that comes out next. Ninetales goes down to Double Edge before we take out the Kadabra with a Twin Needle. Last is Vaporeon, who survives Twin Needle, and Rod uses a regular basic potion on it to heal minor wounds. I'm nonplussed, but I'll take it as Stilgen crashes into Vaporeon with Double Edge and ends it. If the final fight goes that smoothly, I'll be happy. We stand in the Indigo Plateau after fighting our way through Victory Road, and these are our stats as we prep to face the Elite Four. Attack and speed are pretty good, defense and special are meh, so I guess we can only do what we can do. We might have to brute force some of these fights, taking guesses on if I can do this at this level or not. Now up first is Lorelei, and my plan is to get some Swords Dancers up as we go in hard and firm on her. Jinx and Slowbro are weak to Twin Needle, so we have a good advantage there. We get those 2 Swords Dancers up versus Dugong while it goes for Bubble Beam and rest, the latter after it hasn't suffered any damage. Twin Needle takes it out. I hit a Mega Drain on Cloyster to get health back, but it survives and misses Supersonic before we take it out with Double Edge. Slowbro and Jinx are both part Psychic type, and Julie, both of them get one hit by Twin Needle, neither of them capable of standing up to it. Lapras we get unlucky on and crit with Twin Needle. So in Gen 1, crit hits ignore any raised stats as well as lowered ones, so they actually do less damage if you've buffed the attack. It hits body slam, but we do take it out with double edge, giving us the win. Well, that could have gone worse. Next is Bruno. Now, should I be concerned? Well, has anybody ever needed to be concerned about Bruno in Gen 1? In Gen 3 maybe, but not here. We get 2 Swords Dancers up versus the Onyx, while Bruno goes for an X defend and the Screech to lower our defence. We then take it out with Mega Drain. The reasons I Swords Danced is for his fighting types. Dual Edge takes out Hitmonchan, which was what we needed to do. Hitmonlee also goes down to double edge, and 2 of his bigger threats are down. We get most of our health back versus Onyx when we Mega Drain it out of existence before finally we down his Machamp with a double edge for the victory. That wasn't even close to being close. Agatha is the one we've got to face next, and as her entire team is poison type and we've got a move that does super effective damage on poison types, I'm not worried. We get a Swords Dance up versus Gengar number 1 and it goes for Lick. Thankfully there's no paralysis and we take it out with Twin Needle. Versus Golbat, it's a one hit with double edge, sending it crashing down. Haunter is a one hit with Twin Needle, and her next 2 Pokemon, first the Arbok and then the second Gengar shortly after it, both go down in the same fashion, taken out by Stilgen's Stingers. Lance is the one that I'm worried about. I reckon I need at least 2 Swords Dancers versus Gyarados to be able to power through this fight. This makes double edge risky though, but I guess we'll have to chance it and see if we can get health recovery back where we can. We do get those 2 Swords Dance attacks versus Gyarados while it goes for Leer and Dragon Rage, and then we one hit it with double edge. That could have gone a lot worse. Both of the Dragonair are pretty simple to knock out. We hit them each with a Twin Needle and it takes them down hard, which is a relief because I didn't want to potentially get paralysed. Aerodactyl is the issue though. We hit it with a neutral Mega Drain, it does about a quarter of its health in damage, and then Aerodactyl goes to fly. We go for another Swords Dance while it's in the air, but it one hits us with a crit fly that really didn't help things. That's not good. And we can't get any better moves for dealing with Aerodactyl, so I might just have to try and brute force it. Not ideal. I go and get a few levels and then fight my way back to Lance to try again. Second attempt, we take far too much damage versus Gyarados. We get hit with Hydro Pump and a few Dragon Rages, and we can't restore enough health with Mega Drain to take it down. Gyarados had good special in this game. Aerodactyl, we can't quite one hit with Twin Needle, but we do get hit with Fly that leaves us on 27 HP before the poison takes it out. We can't do anything versus Dragonite at this point. We hit it with double edge when we're low health, it survives and the recoil takes us out. On the third attempt, I realise exactly what the issue is. It's Aerodactyl. Now, we had 2 Swords Dancers up the last time and just about missed out on one hitting it. I think I have to suck it up versus Gyarados and go for 3 buffs. We do that, I get my 3 Swords Dancers up, I get clipped with a Hydro Pump and a Dragon Rage, but it could have gone so much more worse as Gyarados missed another Hydro Pump before we down it with Twin Needle. That move also takes out both of the Dragonair with ease, the 2 Serpents joining Gyarados in defeat, before we also take Aerodactyl out with the move, meaning that for once we're in good health going into Dragonite. Double Edge one hits it for the win and we can move on to the champion fight. I pop an Elixir and storm out to face Rod. I'm not concerned at all, I think we can do this. Barring that first fight in the lab at the start, he's not been a problem for the run. Now first up is his Sand Slash, and thankfully it doesn't have Sand Attack in this fight anymore, so I go for 2 Swords Dancers. Unfortunately, I get hit with 2 crit slashers before I do restore some of my health back with Mega Drain. Those crits were unfortunate. Mega Drain doesn't finish Sand Slash, it lands a 3-hit Fury Swipes before we do take it out with another Mega Drain. Alakazam goes down to Twin Needle next, as does the Executor exactly behind it, meaning that we've done for half his team. Ninetales is a one hit with double edge before we down the Magneton with a Twin Needle. Vaporeon does hit us with a quick attack, but it doesn't do much damage, and we hit it with a Twin Needle to end it, which means that we win the run, we enter the Hall of Fame, and that's another one down. This wasn't bad, you know. It was fun. I do think Beedrill does have a cool design. It was certainly easier than when I did Pokemon Black with this Pokemon. I recall some massive issues in the final fights in that game. But yeah, I didn't think Lance would wall us like he did those first few attempts. Definitely a neat run. I think we made the best of what little we had. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, as always, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to build the channel and every little helps. If you are already watching, you are already subscribed, then, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much. Without you, this channel is nothing. I cannot emphasise this enough. As always, if you have any ideas for challenges, drop them in the comments section or in my Twitter/Discord. Links in the description down below. Next week, as I said, it's going to be Pokemon Emerald with only contest moves, the Beauty Edition, so that one could be interesting. Now then, what's new with me? Personal life is pretty good. New dog is settling in nice despite her being an absolute little sod at times, chewing up magazines and trying to grab any sort of food that isn't nailed down. Please note, we don't nail food down in this house. Just a case of working with her at this point to try and get her to stop trying to steal up anything that's not nailed down. It's good to have a dog in the house again. Very polar opposite to the previous dog. The previous dog hated other dogs but loved humans. This one is the opposite way around. Wants to play with other dogs but freaks out a bit around humans. Yours truly aside. It's been quite hot the last couple of days at the time of writing. I will be glad when it cools down a bit. I don't do well in heat. I would be happy with summer ground conditions and winter temperatures all year round. Cold but dry. That would do me every day of the week. That's like a happy medium for me. So then, this seems as good a place as any to stop. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you again same time next week. As always, this has been Once and Future Gamer, and this has been Pokemon Yellow with a single Beedrill. Take care, folks. See you next time. Bye-bye now.